Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered, the podcast where we say the things everyone else whispers, feels, or pretends they're totally fine about. Around here, nothing is too awkward, too messy, or too, oh my god, did she really just say that? Yes, I did. This is your space for real talk, real stories, real emotions, and the kind of honesty that makes you laugh, cry, and heal a little. Sometimes all at once. So grab your drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Because life's too short to sugarcoat it, and I'm not here to do that anyway. Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Today I'm joined by Carrie Danger for a conversation about sobriety, mental health, healing, and self-discovery. This episode is really about Carrie's story, the highs, the struggles, the lessons, and what rebuilding herself can look like in real life. Hi Carrie, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited for you to be here.
Hi, Auntie Mel Mel. Thank you for having
Of
me. This is
course.
great.
Yes, I'm so excited for you to come on and let my listeners hear your story of sobriety and what got you to sobriety. But before we get into that, do you want to share a bit about who Carrie is and what you do? And, if you have any animals, what you like to do for fun?
Well, yes, my name is Carrie, and you'd be shocked to learn Danger is not my real last name.
Yeah.
But, it is a given, nickname, so I feel pretty good about that. But, yeah, I, currently live in Ohio, and I love to read books and run and drink coffee and hang out with my 2 cats that are over there watching the birds right now, Solo and Ruka. Um, and, yeah, I just love all things music and
Mhm.
meeting
Yeah.
people and talking about all the cool stuff. I'm sober, so that's
Yes.
exciting. And,
Yes.
yeah, that's pretty much me.
Well, awesome. We will get into that. We had mentioned a little bit before we hit record on the cats. I have my 2 cats, Jade and Chloe, with me. They're actually bird watching too. We have their tower right by the window, so that's funny. And I'm a huge music lover. My husband was in a metal band for years, so I was a band wife for a long time. And then we always go to incarceration and things like that. This is our first year we're not going to incarceration. I know. It's on our anniversary every year, so that's what we do for anniversary, but we decided we don't really wanna be in the 100-degree weather with all those thousands of people this year, so we're not sure what we're gonna do. I'm kinda sad about it a little bit, but it's still fun. But I listen to all music. I tell people I'm polyamorous. I love that new saying that everybody says because 'cause
I
I'll
love
have
that.
yeah, my playlist are like country, like 90s country to like 3 6 Mafia to, Amir to, Alice in Chains. This is who I am, so
I love that. That's perfect because I also am polyamorous. I was
yeah.
listening to, some, oldies,
Mhm.
and then some Lil Wayne. So,
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Lil Wayne? Yeah.
you know?
And I think you're a millennial like me, and that's just, like, our going out days and all that stuff is
Oh,
definitely Lil
girl.
Wayne, so
True. Take me to
yeah.
Westfield. Let's go.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, let's get into it. What was life like for you before you became sober?
It was wild, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty much down for anything as long as I get home to go to bed on time. But
Right.
then I was just down for anything. And, I struggled a lot with depression and anxiety and the what ifs and oh my
Mhm.
gosh, my biggest anxiety, and this is when I realized that it was a real problem, was I would wake up and the first thing I would think about is alcohol. You know,
Yeah.
I would think about, "Oh my god, I drank too much." Or maybe I didn't drink that much. Was it too much? Was it not enough? It was
Mhm.
always a mental game, and it
Yeah.
just took up a lot of my mental space and energy. I mean, I would go to bed at, 3 or 4 a.m., and I'd just be hanging out alone, by the way. At
Yeah.
the end of
Yeah.
it, I was just drinking by myself every
Mm,
single day. Um
right.
but, when you go out and you drink with people, it's not so bad because 'cause you're not
Mhm.
alone. But when I moved to the area that I'm in now, um, and my best friend that lives nearby got pregnant, and so it was kinda like,
Mm,
"Okay, now I'm just gonna hang out at home by myself and drink instead of hanging out with friends and drinking."
yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, it was definitely a struggle before. Chain smoking every day, binge drinking every day. I've met
Mhm.
lots of different drinkers and,
Yeah.
um, some lots of I did a lot of quizzes online, like, "Am I an alcoholic?" And every single one was like, you might want to seek some help on that, dear friend. And I didn't
Yeah.
believe it. I didn't want to believe it because being normal means I can drink, but that's not, my therapist just told me recently because I was like, I'm just fantasizing about drinking.
Mhm.
And I was like, why can't I just be normal? And she goes, well, you are normal.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Um,
Right, yeah.
just my life doesn't include alcohol, and that's
Yeah.
okay. One leads to 12. There's just no way
Mhm.
around it. And
Yeah.
I've had lots of instances where, I mean, I risked a lot. I've got really fortunate through,
Mhm.
all my drinking, but it really was like I would wake up every day and say, okay, I'm not going to drink today. And then by that point, it's like 11 a.m. I'm waking up.
Yeah.
And so then it would morph into, a couple hours later, well, maybe it's not so bad if I just, maybe just have like one tall boy.
Mhm.
And then it's
Mhm.
like, well, why buy the tall boy when I can buy the case? And then it's just
Mhm.
every single day. And at
Mhm.
that time too, I was working 7 to midnight at my job. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I had all day to get better
Yeah.
and get rid of my hangover and eat my double cheeseburgers and my large, and drink the coconut waters that are gonna help me get rid of my hangover. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the money that I wasted, the time that I spent just like making that lifestyle work for me,
Mhm.
I could never imagine going back to that life now. I have
Yeah.
such a calm life. I can have anxiety about other things that seem to matter
Mhm.
more. And like
Yeah.
when my nephew moved in, she went and got herself a job, and I had to
Mhm.
get up early and help with my nephew. So it was kind of one of those things like, I can't be the hungover auntie, like
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
do that. I have to be able to wake up and feed him, feed me, get us
Mhm.
ready, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, dude, it was stressful.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing so much of that with us. And I can totally, it's so much a society norm that it's okay to go out and drink. And like you said, like when you go out and party with your friends and stuff, it's okay. But yeah, after a while, when you're doing it by yourself, and as you said, where you're like, okay, one drink, oh no, I could buy more, and that's okay, just keeps going on and on. Obviously, there's a problem.
Mhm.
It's great that you realized it though, and that you were trying to find out for sure, by doing the little tests and everything like that. Like you knew that you had an issue. It's so hard to get out of that cycle. I've been around alcoholics my whole life. It's in my family. I've always been around that. I have a weird relationship with alcohol even now as an adult. Like I feel guilty if I have one or two, and I'm like the mother. I have to mother everybody while they're drinking. Like my poor husband, I can't even let him have a drink or two sometimes because I'm so worried that it's going to turn into the 30 or something. It's hard. I think everybody, whether you were the alcoholic or have it in your family or have experienced it, there's just some weird relationships with alcohol. So, and I'm big on like medical marijuana and recreational marijuana and stuff like that. And I hate that there's such a stigma with that versus like it's okay to go get wasted all the time. So
You would
absolutely.
I just did a turntable Tuesday. It's Tuesday today, so I just
Oh
launched,
yes, yeah.
and I chose the Supervillains massive album,
Oh
and
nice.
Supervillains sing a lot about weed and
Yeah.
marijuana, and
Yeah.
there's a song, um, I believe it's Crippy Weed, but it talks about how the government is
Mhm.
sucking down their poison, but hating on the smokers, even though
Oh yeah.
the weed smokers aren't gonna cause any harm.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah.
I'm retired from smoking myself. I
Mhm.
retired in
Yeah.
2017,
Yeah.
but I still appreciated that, before I even started drinking, I
Mhm.
exclusively just smoked weed. And I can
Yeah.
tell you right now, that is what cured my epilepsy, dude.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
grew out of it, but it really helped maintain when I
Right.
started smoking through depression and just moving to Ohio. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, if I could
Yeah.
smoke and do edibles or anything like that, I totally would. I can't
Right.
because it's
Yeah.
pointless for me because 'cause I'll fall asleep, but
Yeah.
I don't wanna waste my
Right.
money, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
exactly.
can't even
Yeah,
enjoy
no.
it, so
Yeah, I'll have to
I'm
check that
old.
song out, and yeah, that's I try to bring that to light in a lot of my episodes because it's always bothered me that there's such stigma around that, and it's a plant, and the lazy stoner really isn't a thing. Of course, there's some people, but everyone that I
Yeah.
know uses it to better their life and focus and, like, help them, as you said, like epilepsy, like, I have anxiety and PTSD and, autoimmune issues and stuff like that, so, like, it helps me function in life, so, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah,
So,
I've got lots of friends that use it for, the pain management and
mhm.
everything, and it's
Yeah.
just like it's so silly. It's I don't know, because with alcohol, they not to get weird or anything, but alcohol, they can use it to control us.
Oh, absolutely.
With
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
weed, it
Yeah.
expands our minds in a different way,
Yeah.
and I'm full on sober. I don't smoke cigs,
Yeah.
I don't well, I
Mhm.
say full on sober, but I do drink caffeine, and that is
Okay.
considered
Yeah.
a drug.
Considered. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. You gotta have
Um,
something. You can't take away the coffee and stuff.
good lord, help me. I could never.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people use marijuana to, like, get off opiates and stuff like that. Like, I've had people on here that have addiction stories, and that's what saved them, and, as you said, like, it's just silly that people look down on that, and, we can use it not to get all into that, but I'm one of those too that can go into the government, conspiracies,
Yeah.
all that stuff, but look at the Epstein files, it says in there that they don't want people that use marijuana because it does open their mind. They'd rather have somebody that drinks because they're altered, so what does
Yep.
that tell you?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel less controlled by the government
Yeah.
without cigarettes and alcohol, because
I
cigarettes,
bet.
that's a mental
Yeah.
game too.
Oh, for
I'll
sure.
be by the time this episode launches, I will be 1 year cigarette free. I
Awesome.
never, ever thought, Auntie Mel, I never thought that day would come for me. That was the
Yeah,
hardest thing for me to quit doing, was smoking
absolutely.
cigs, because
Yeah.
I really convinced myself that I loved it so much, but
Mhm.
it wasted so much of my time, because
Yeah.
I would wind up taking cigarette breaks and doom scrolling, and it's like, dude, just
Yeah.
I have so much more time, and my
Mhm.
brain's clearer. I react to things a lot more chill.
Yeah.
I also, because I let go of those 2 super controlling things,
Mhm.
I have no problem letting go of other stuff in my life.
That's
Purging
awesome.
stuff, like
Yeah.
cleaning
Yeah.
out, it was always an issue because, well, what if
Mhm.
I want it one day?
Mhm.
Get rid of it.
Yep. I
I
love
don't
that. It
weird
totally new
feeling.
lease on life. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I could get
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody around me smokes, my husband, my parents, and I get that. Like, it's the hardest thing for them to quit, and it's so hard, and like you said, it controls you, and you think you need it. It's helping you, you think, but yeah, actually, if you quit, you have the more energy and all those things,
Yeah.
so
And listen,
yeah.
there's lots of days where I was just watching a movie called Under the Silver Lake. Great flick.
Oh, okay.
It's pre-pandemic, and you can
Yeah.
tell it was great.
Yeah.
I love it. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, they were smoking, and I'm like, I
It
need some
can't
of
help but
that.
get the itch still, yeah.
Oh my god, let me get a
Yeah.
cigarette. Oh my god.
I was a drinker or smoker when I drank. Me and my
Yep.
brother both. We never got addicted, but we were always those kids that would, like, go buy a pack of cigarette. I can always remember when was drinking when I was younger, like, go home and give my dad a pack of cigarettes, like, I found these." No, I actually bought them and smoked, like,
That's
4 of them, but,
hilarious.
"Here you go, I found these cigarettes."
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah, so yeah, I love
Oh,
it, so
that's too cool. By the way, I
yeah.
love your sweatshirt. Self-care is
Thank you.
badass.
I wore
That's
that
great.
today. I figured you would love that. I know you do your mental health Mondays and are really into that as well. So, it's
Ooh.
actually a company called Own Your Stigma. I actually kind of partnered with them. They literally have about 35 pages of different t-shirts and stuff. They have ones that are like mental health and cats. They have like all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, like
Well,
definitely should check it out. So,
I'm gonna check that out.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
you'll
sure.
send when I send you Crippy Weed, you send me that
Yeah,
link.
definitely. I will
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. I love it. I want like 100 things from there. So I bought one other shirt and it says all bodies are good bodies. So there's so many different
Oh,
sayings. So
I
yeah.
love that. My best
Yeah.
friend and I say, "Be nice to yourself, you have a body."
I love that. Yeah. I'm a plus size woman. I'm not ashamed of it. I've always, of course I could be healthier and I want to for myself, but not for society. And like
Well,
I've always been like that. My husband loves me. I love myself. So
everyone's
yeah,
healthy looks different. And
absolutely
I
for
was
sure.
just talking to, or not talking to, I saw a video and the girl was like, if I am a dog breed, like of a corgi, I can't aspire to look like a greyhound.
Yeah,
Look
exactly.
weird,
Yeah, for
And like,
sure. Yeah.
shoot, I've been many different sizes in this body of mine, but
Mhm.
my soul has stayed the same. In
Absolutely.
fact, my
Yeah.
soul has gotten better. And,
Yes.
you know, it doesn't matter what size. Hell, I was the most proud of myself and like felt the most like, whoa, sexy
Mhm.
when I was like 215 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just was like,
Yeah.
what's up? I'm here.
Yeah.
Check
Hey,
out
yeah.
my big boobs. Like,
Yeah. The curves, I get that, yeah.
yeah.
That's how I feel, I'm a curvy woman, I'm not ashamed of it. Took me a long time to love myself, though. I was one of those women that would wear the long sleeve shirts in 100-degree weather, never show my legs or anything like that, and then I had left a relationship. I was from the time I was in high school till I was like 22. So
Oh,
I was like, "Oh, I'm an adult now. I can party, hang out with people, do my thing." And then I started to love myself a lot more. And I thought that was so important. And that's something I always try to preach to younger girls and everybody, like, love yourself and then the right person will come into your life because if you don't love yourself, then it's not going to work out. So,
oh yeah.
yeah.
Girl, we could talk about
Absolutely.
that for days
I
because I
know
got
we could have like 100 conversations.
I
So.
know, man. Lord.
And I'm an auntie too, obviously, Auntie Mel Mel. I can't have kids, I'm a lost mom, but my nieces are my world. They're 12 and 11, they're 10 months apart, they're Irish twins,
Oh,
and I love them to death, and that's I just wanna be a good person for them, and I always try to give them good insight, and that's what I wanna do with my podcast is be an aunt for everybody, so
that's actually like that's why I really liked and I was drawn to you is because I go by Auntie Carrie or TT.
yeah.
Um, so I've got my biological nephew and then my
Mhm,
best friend of over 20 years has two
mhm.
children
Yeah.
and her brother's got a baby. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so being Aunt Carrie and not smoking cigarettes in front of them anymore and smelling like cigarettes and not drinking and being freaking
Mhm.
wasted trying
Yeah,
to hang out with my like what the heck?
yeah,
How
yeah.
irresponsible of me. And, I don't know. It's just I want to set a really good example for them and anyone that stumbles upon my social media, whether it's
Mhm.
Mental Health Monday, Turntable Tuesday,
Yeah.
or one of my running videos,
Mhm.
and in my day job, I
Mhm.
want to set a good example doing all that stuff. So
Absolutely.
I
Yep,
totally
I
agree
feel
with
you.
you. You're on it.
Absolutely. That's one
Yeah.
reason I stuck with my podcast. I'm one of those people who kinda have a heart start projects and then quit, but I'm like, I am going to show everybody that I'm doing the damn thing, especially my nieces, show them that I could be a badass. I've made a lot of changes in my life recently with, like, resigning from position, trying to just focus on me, being the best me. I'm almost at 40, so it's kind of that midlife thing, like, yeah, this is who I
Yeah.
am, and if you don't like me, I don't care. So, yep. I think a lot of and I
Girl,
love doing that this podcast because I've met so many women that are in that phase of life, and it's so empowering that we all get to that point, like, "Yeah, fuck you, I don't care, this is us." Like,
yeah.
if you don't like it, you don't like it, so
Girl, I just turned 37 and I'm like in that weird spot too. And I'm like,
yeah,
was I just doing this because I was drinking every day and it was
right.
easier and what?
Yeah. I bet. That's a
And
lot too. I know you're a totally different person than you were
totally
back
different.
then, so yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Too.
So
Oh,
going back to that, because I know me and you could talk forever and
I know.
squirrel
Sorry.
forever, but no, I love it. This is what I like. I like the realness and the honest. I'm not trying to be a stuffy, like, so blah 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 blah. Okay, so
Yeah,
no. I want it to be like we're friends, just having a conversation. So
we are.
so what were the first couple days or months like for you in sobriety with your emotions and your mental health? How was those struggles for you?
Dude, I will never forget, and I'm going to cry, but that's
Oh,
okay.
go right ahead.
I will never forget. It was I was hanging out on a Sunday and I was hanging out with my neighbor and my sister and my nephew were there. And my nephew, he just wanted to be with TT. So I'm drinking and smoking while he's sitting on my lap.
Mm,
Like, I might not have been smoking when he was on my lap. I'm sure because I'm pretty serious about that. Like
right.
in the
Yeah.
car with kids and all that.
Mhm.
Or I'll just be like, get away from me. You see this?
Yeah.
Get away from
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Scare them away. And they think it's a game. But I um I will never forget that night I had intended on having 2 beers,
Mm,
and by the end of it, I had 18,
mm,
and I had to wake up at 6 AM the next dang day, smelling like booze, smelling like cigs, and I had a
mm.
work thing, and I had to take my nephew to the babysitter, um, and I was struggling, dude, and I know I smelled like alcohol. I know it. Um, I like, in between the work thing and then going back to work, I had, like, a brief moment. I went up, got myself, my tried and true, my quarter pounder with bacon and cheese, and, like,
Yeah.
my coconut water and all the stuff, and I tried to pull myself back together, um, and it was just a really, really, really rough day, and I just said, "Okay, it's now or never, dude. You have got to make this change." Like, the amount of times I tried,
Mhm.
and I just failed every time. And, like, it was so difficult, and everyone around me was so nice about it. Like, "You don't have a problem. I don't think you have a problem." Like, "Do you hear me when I tell you how I feel like I've got a problem," you know?
Yeah.
And I just needed someone to be like, you're an alcoholic,
Yeah.
figure it out, you know?
Right.
My grandpa, who's been sober for over 40 years, he tried very gently because he knew. And so, but this time I was like, all right, I'm not drinking through the rest of this week. It was a Monday. And I was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to make it. And that Friday night, I was staying the night at my boyfriend's house, the boyfriend I still have today, and who, by the way, didn't drink when we met at all. He also quit in his 30s. He's 9 years older than me, and, because he was just consumed by it. Not as bad
Mhm.
as me, but, like, it's his own level of bad, so it doesn't
Right. Yeah.
so when we got together, he didn't really drink. He would have, like, 1 with me, but I'd have, like,
Mhm.
6 or 10. But,
Yeah.
um, he didn't smoke cigs. I did. He just, but I
Mhm.
just remember that Friday, I went and stayed the night at his house, and I had a work event the next Saturday. And
Mhm.
years prior, I went hungover, and I was like,
Mhm.
"I don't wanna do that this time." I think I'm like it was really hard for me to go through a Friday night without booze. It's not like we were going
Yeah.
to the bar. I just wanted to
Right.
have alcohol, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, it's
And
Friday.
so
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, we're going to bed at a normal time," and I woke up hangover free for my work event, and it
Mhm.
was like, "Whoa, okay, well, maybe I'll try to go the rest of the weekend." And
Yeah.
then from there, it just turned into, well, okay, well, maybe I'll just go the rest of the month. And
Mhm.
because it was in mid-September, and I was like, "Can I make it
Okay.
2 weeks?" And,
Yeah.
so I did that, and then I was like, "Well, at this point, we're sober October, let's do it."
Mhm.
So it was like, okay, just pile on next goal after next goal, and then eventually it just became 100 days altogether, flat
That's
out,
amazing.
period.
Yeah.
But the feelings were crazy. I was
Mhm.
negotiating times 10 with myself to try to make it make sense. Why can't
Yeah.
I drink? Maybe I should drink. And also, by the way, alcohol advertisements are everywhere, and
Yeah.
you don't know until you're trying to get it out of your body and out of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of I mean, I wasn't going through, like, withdrawals like you'd see in a movie. I didn't go to
Mhm.
AA. I relied on my sister to check me when I needed it. Because 'cause I'll be
Right.
honest, I love my best friends, but there's a couple of them that just were like, "How long is
Yeah.
this gonna last?" Like, "You're fine. You don't have a problem," because they didn't wanna face that they had a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I mean, yeah, dude, it just I looked back and I feel a lot of regret for the way I behaved. I mean, it wasn't being trashy or anything, but, like,
Right.
I was being drunk around
Mhm.
like, at my niece's first birthday.
Yeah.
What the frick,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so, I couldn't even drive myself home that night. It's a first birthday.
Yeah.
So, granted, we live in Ohio, and this is kinda how birthdays kids' parties go
For
here.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I know I wasn't out of the norm, I wasn't the only one drinking, that's for
Mhm.
sure, but
Yeah.
I was definitely the only one that could not get herself home at night. Um,
Yeah.
and then yeah, so it was definitely a struggle, but thank goodness my sister and my boyfriend, they were there every step of the way, and being
Mhm.
with my nephew as well, he being around he was only, God, he was like 2 at the time,
Oh, yeah.
and so, yeah, he was a little baby, and
Yeah.
it just made a big difference, it really helped kinda lock
Sure.
me in, like, "This is what I'm doing it for," and
Mhm.
then, yeah, I just smoked a lot of cigarettes, and oh, I did rely a lot on near beers, which I got a lot of
Okay.
flack for that, because
Hmm.
"Oh, that's got, like, 0.05% alcohol."
Well, it's
Like,
still yeah, that's helping you wean.
what
That's
the
kinda,
hell?
yeah.
Yeah, lay
Yeah.
off, okay,
Oh my
hater.
gosh. Yeah.
Also, I did not go with the AA way, and
Mhm.
that is just something that they are, like, super strict,
Yeah.
and all I'm saying is, if I can have 1 near beer and be satiated from having 12 real beers, full on beer,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be okay with that, and then so that would lasted for about a year where I would
Mhm.
just have, every day I was still having 1 near beer because it just
Mhm.
was such a habit, and then I
Right.
slowly got myself into LaCroix and, okay,
Mhm.
well, I don't need and I didn't now I don't even want the near beers because they make me
Right.
bloated,
Yeah.
and and it doesn't work with my running nutrition, so,
Mhm.
yeah, dude, there was
Uh,
a lot of haters on that. I was like,
yeah.
excuse me,
That yeah.
get out of here," you
That's
know?
messed up, yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all that with
Yeah.
us and, being raw and emotional with this, and I appreciate you, going into detail, and it is hard to have those people in your life that are still the naysayers or, like, aren't really building you up because, as you said, they have their own problems that they don't wanna face. And it is really important, whatever our situation is, if it's addiction, sobriety, anything. It could be a food addiction, anything that you're ready for. If you're not ready, it's not going to happen.
Mhm.
And I think it's so, like you said, it's silly that people are being down on you because you had those ones, just
Yeah.
that. That's same as people that are like doing heroin and stuff. They get on Suboxones and stuff like that to help with that. Like it's just part of how that works. And
Yeah.
I also give you a lot of credit doing that on your own, and not going through anything. I recently shared, I hadn't really publicly talked about it, only my husband knew, and one or two friends, but I had an addiction where I did Opanas and Suboxones and Percocet,
Oh,
for about
wow.
6 months of my life. So, and my husband, he was a full addict when we got together and was for many, many years, but he completely cold sober himself. And it's people don't realize how hard that is to not
Yeah.
get help and never touch anything ever again. So
Yeah.
I give you a lot of credit for doing it, and, at least you had your sister and your boyfriend, and I think your nephew, that's, like, a blessing that he was there. I could totally see that. I would do the same if I had my babies with me like that, so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy too, because, dude, it's everywhere. It's available
Mhm.
everywhere.
Yeah.
You go to the doctor. There you
Yeah.
go. Oh,
Yep.
I'm feeling this. Can I get this? Sure.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and like booze is in every freaking gas station. Cigarettes are
Mhm.
everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
there was a moment in January, I was spiraling. We had just lost my cousin.
Mhm.
It's my best friend's cousin, but we're best friends for so long. I've
Right.
had
Oh,
kids since
yeah.
he was
Mhm.
5,
Yeah.
but just lost him. I was going through so much in my professional life and in my personal life. It just was everything was bogging down. And I went and bought a pack of cigarettes and I took one puff. That's all I needed. I was like, nope, I
Yeah.
hate this so
Nope.
much. I
Yeah.
cannot do this because this is setting a really bad example. No one's gonna know. Well, now people are gonna know, but like no one would know
Yeah.
except for my amazing boyfriend. And we were in a little bit of a tiff at the moment. So I was
Right.
thinking like, look what I just did.
Yeah.
Dramatic, and so I'm an Aries, but
Okay.
I, was like I left the cigarettes on the counter, and he took them and got rid of them, like, somewhere. I don't know where.
Mhm.
I was like, "Where'd you put my cigarettes?" And he's like, "I did what any good boyfriend would do." And I was like, "Say less, okay, what's up?"
Yeah, that's awesome, and you needed something
Damn.
like that, and I love that, the tough love. People enable without even realizing it, like, "Oh, you're fine," like you said, "You don't have a problem," or,
Yeah.
like, how your grandpa tried to tell you, like, gently, you needed somebody to be like, "Listen here, you have a problem.
Yeah.
It is a problem, and we're gonna help you with that." So, I think that's
Yeah.
really important, and everybody's rock bottoms are different,
Yeah.
but I do think having the support system is really needed. It's hard for people when they don't have anybody, and as you said, you could go turn the TV on or, go for a walk and you'll see an ad for cigarettes and alcohol, so,
In my
yeah, that would
books,
be so hard, yeah.
oh my god, I love reading, but man, some of these books
Yeah.
just and I know like wine, like, why can't I
Mhm.
be the girl that just has a glass of
Oh, yeah.
wine? And,
Right,
like,
yeah.
you just can't.
No.
Just
Yeah,
accept it. And
yeah.
so, I try to be gentle with myself, but yeah, that tough love is, like, key. Recently I did a video about this, no one's gonna come and save you. Uh,
Mhm, yeah.
you can have all the supportive people in your life, but they can't make that change for you. You're
No.
miserable, like, go do something about it,
Yep,
you know?
absolutely, yeah.
Whether it's, you know there was a lot of times before I accepted my body for what it is, um, I would just, God, hate on myself. Like, oh, I
Mhm.
just want to be, mind you, when I was hating on myself, I was like 120 pounds and I looked sick, like,
Right.
not look well. I look back and I'm like, you poor girl. I'm so
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
Society did you dirty,
Oh,
baby.
for sure,
Like,
yeah.
oh my
Mm,
gosh,
yeah.
I'm like, I can't see my hip bones and my collarbones. So why, like,
Mhm, yeah.
oh,
Society
please
definitely
don't do
played
that.
us, yeah.
Oh my God,
For sure.
dude. But like, now but even then, it's like, well, if you wanna get it, you gotta do it yourself, blah, 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 like, obviously, that's the worst one, but,
Right,
like,
yeah.
it's just if you wanna make that change, like, you have to be ready, like you said, and
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
and I hate to say it to people that, like I want everyone to just give up alcohol completely because
Right,
I
yeah.
wish everyone could see how much better your skin would be without it, how
Mhm.
much stronger your hair would be without it,
Yeah.
because when your body is constantly fighting to get rid of the toxins, it can't
Mhm.
absorb all the supplements. I've done all the supplements. I've done all
Right.
the green juices. it doesn't matter if you're not treating your body right.
Absolutely.
Again,
Yeah.
our souls are given one vehicle. Take care of get oil changes on your real car, handle
Yeah.
your body, you know?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, it's on us, and I saw your post and I commented on that post, and that's something everyone that I've talked to, like, that's what the whole thing comes down to is, like, you have to get yourself out of that place, or you have to do what you want to better your life. Nobody's gonna save you. As much as we would love that, you're in charge of your life, and of course, we can help one another and encourage
Yeah,
one another, but you still need to physically do it yourself, so that's so important.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
and it's hard and you can have setbacks, like, it's not perfect and no one's ever gonna get it right the first time, but, it's just that you're trying, like, even like me, like, if I wanna go to the gym and, that's a big thing, you give up after so long, like, no, if you didn't give up, just keep going, like, you don't need to quit
Yeah.
completely, so
Yeah.
definitely.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. And you had mentioned the physicals, that was gonna be one of my questions, like, there's so many changes that come with quitting drinking, not just mentally and emotionally, but physically as well, and I know you're big into running and you use that. Did you run before when you were drinking, or is that something
Yes.
that happened after?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I would go out, I'd wake up at, like, 10:30 or 11, and I would try to sober up a little bit,
Mhm.
and I'd go run, and it was basically like 2 magnets, like, n
Yeah.
quite, and I just was fighting against myself,
Mhm.
and, I mean, I was not running like I run today, that's for dang sure. I was
Right.
lucky if I could do half a mile, and
Mm.
so it was like, I gotta get out there and try to make it a little bit further and a little bit further.
Mhm.
And I actually ran my first 5K. It was a winery 5K. Run
Mhm.
now, wine later. Ha ha ha.
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
I was hungover as shit. I got like 3 hours of sleep because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have one. And I'll
Mhm.
never forget, I'm on the phone with my boyfriend. I'm cracking a cold one. And he's like, you're drinking before your 5K? I'm like, yeah, just one. It was actually my seventh beer.
Oh gosh,
Okay.
yeah.
And I lied to him because I didn't want him to think anything weird of me. We had
Oh,
just
yeah,
started
for sure.
dating.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah, I was really embarrassed about all that. But, I finished that 5K reluctantly and
Yeah.
and got drunk afterwards. So,
No.
but now, using the running it always is a magical moment when I'm out there and I'm like, "Thank God I didn't drink last night." Like,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
never be out there running 26 miles, run walking 26 miles.
Right. Yeah.
Because I wanna be realistic about this because I want others to experience the
Yeah,
wonderful
for
world of
sure.
fitness. Now, I used to work out before when I had a really good balance with
Mhm.
alcohol and, drug use,
Mhm. Yeah.
and cigarettes. I think in my mind, it was a pretty decent balance in my 20s.
Mhm.
Um, a whole 'nother life then,
Right.
but I would go to the gym regularly. I wasn't too big on running, but I would do interval
Mhm.
sprints and stuff, and I was in incredible shape, I did roller derby and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but, yeah, it was I don't know, something just I think it probably must've been my divorce that just clicked for me, like, "Well, I'm just gonna let loose and just drink every day, forget it, I'm just gonna
Right.
party," I moved back to
Yeah.
hang out with all my friends, and we were all in that zone, so,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big
yeah,
thing,
dude.
and I know it's anywhere, but I feel like Ohio, especially, like, in these small rural areas, like, that's how it is, and, I've talked to people, like I said, addiction, sobriety, everything is, like, it's sad, but a lot of times we have to give up those old friendships because those people are never gonna change, and they're just gonna enable you and not encourage you to be a better person, and we all go through those moments, like I had mentioned, where I got out of that relationship from high school. I coulda definitely become an alcoholic in that stage of my
Mhm.
life. I was going out drinking every single night. I was experimenting with, like, hooking up and stuff because I had only been with I was my fun, single
Yeah.
male phase, which is fine. But I am somebody, like I said, alcoholism runs in my family. I've seen it my whole life as well, and I could easily have become an alcoholic because I am one of those that can't just have 1 or 2. It turns into, drink the whole bottle with you. So, but I now if I do, I will it is just 1 or 2, but I'm so guilty drinking, so yeah.
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 Oh, man, and I gotta say too, I think, I never wanna be like, "Oh, I influence these people to do this," but I have 3 friends that I think because I did it,
Mhm.
I'm almost positive it encouraged them to go ahead and try it too.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And
I
so
love that.
I'm really proud of them because all 3 of them have had incredible life accomplishments, and
Yeah.
watching them, I'm like, "God, I wonder what they think when they watch me."
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. So,
Um,
yeah.
the neighbor always honks whenever they leave.
Aw.
That's cute. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's adorable.
so yeah, dude, it's like it's so important to one, like you said, like know your family history because
Mhm,
alcoholism is part of my family big time.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
seeing, and I never thought it'd be me.
Yeah. It
It
can happen to anybody. So as we
happened to
said, like
anybody.
that's why I shared my addiction story. Nobody I've always been considered like the goody two shoes and stuff like that. And I'm not like I said, I use marijuana. I'm not shy about that, but people probably don't even think that about me. I never got
Right.
in trouble or, anything like that. So like people are like it can happen to anybody. And as you mentioned, people get prescribed stuff and that's how it happens a lot of times. And that's I'm more holistic now too. Like I don't like big pharma. That's a whole nother thing I could go down. But yeah, I know we definitely connecting here. So
Oh yeah.
but, it's just it could happen to anybody. That's why I said it could be somebody that has millions of dollars, it could be somebody that's poor, like, it's not any walk of life, and it can happen to any situation, so
Yeah.
well, I'm proud of you. I know we just met, but I appreciate you so much for sharing all this with us. I think it helps others. As you said, you doing it, you think maybe influence your friends, which is amazing. And that's why I do my podcast is I'm a lost mom. That's what started my podcast and my why. And I started sharing my journey a couple of years ago. And I would have people reach out to me like, thank you for sharing your story. I never felt comfortable talking about mine. Like I've had people come on here that have never shared stuff with other people come and be open. Like that is healing me in ways that I never expected. Like that has healed my soul more than I ever thought it would. Like being that person that can like shed that light for other people. And that's why I try to be open and honest and everybody come on and be real and raw and break all these stigmas because we all have to help each other and know that we're not alone. So,
Yeah. Well, and you do have a really nice welcoming presence, even
oh, thank
virtually,
you.
where because I don't mind talking about my story, but it's rare
Hmm.
that I do because I've had people reach out and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, what was it like for you? Like, how can I, I think I might have a,"
Right.
and I'll go
Yeah.
through the list of like, here's how I knew I had a problem,
Hmm.
and I would always get back, "Oh, I'm not that bad.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
that bad. I don't have a problem." I'm like, "Honey, if you think you got a problem, you
Right.
got a
Yeah.
problem. Take a break.
Absolutely.
At
For sure.
least 100 days." Honestly, I would say 1 full year alcohol free.
Hmm.
Everyone should try it
Yeah.
and just see what it's like because
Oh, yeah.
you don't need it,
No, you
Sure, it
don't.
looks glamorous. That person can do it. You don't need to.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I get a lot of that. I'm like, "Out of here.
And people are
Oh, not that
ridiculous with
bad."
that.
Because
Like,
I would
don't
think
even
the same thing.
ask me then. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but I do
I would think
appreciate you
that
sharing
too.
for sure. Yeah.
Like, I would talk to people or I'd read people's
Yeah.
stories and just be like, "Well, I'm not as bad as them, so I don't need to quit."
Yeah. Yeah, they have to be ready, as we said, so, yeah, but that's hard too, and then you feel bad too, and they like, "I just gave you all this insight and stuff," and it's hard not to feel that way, but you do a little bit, like, I was trying to be the good person and help, but if you don't want it, you don't want it, so,
Yep. And,
yeah,
like,
but
do what you
yeah.
want, but don't make
Mhm.
me feel bad.
Yeah,
Like, there's a
absolutely.
reason I quit drinking. I'm not just
Yeah,
some casual drinker that decided to take a break for a while. Like,
yeah,
I was literally hungover every day and missing out on a lot of my life. And
mhm.
so, I don't when people say, like, things, I'm like, "Get out of here. Don't talk to
Right.
me."
Yeah. That's why I said if you people want to resonate with these episodes or if it helps one person, that's amazing for me. Or there's always skeptics, but it may open some people's eyes. Like my cousin shared her sobriety story, and then I had Mary Malstar, she is the leading operator for the Taylor Foundation, come on and talk about all the things that she does with Corey Taylor and the festivals and stuff like that. So like it's so cool to get the information and resources out there to everybody, but they have to be wanting to do it and be ready for it. But hopefully it resonates with one person and somebody thinks, maybe that's me.
Ah,
So yes, thank you for that. Now I know we both love music and are big into music. Was there any songs or albums or artists that helped you through your beginning stages of sobriety or anything that you can pinpoint or reminds you of your journey?
hmm. Well, I think so my go-to album when I need to feel better, albums would be Radiohead, The Bends,
Nice.
and then Beck's Morning Phase album.
Okay.
Um, those 2,
Mhm.
chill, dude. I love them so much.
Mhm.
It's so awesome. The, Ray LaMontagne Ouroboros album is always really
Mhm.
good too. just
Yeah.
something chill with a lot of emotions,
Yeah. I
and,
love that.
like, big emotions, because I got a
Yeah.
lot of them. And those 3 albums for sure. I can't remember. I definitely had to take a break from watching some TV shows.
Yeah.
That's why I like Gilmore Girls a lot, because their biggest thing is coffee. They don't really
Right.
there was,
Yeah.
like, maybe a
True.
few episodes with
Yeah.
alcohol, but,
Yeah.
I was always a Gil head, Gilmore.
Yeah. Oh, I love
um,
Gilmore Girls. Yeah.
yeah, like, it's just so, watching it on the TV back
Yeah.
in the day, and so but that was always a nice option because it's just
Yeah,
coffee,
more
coffee,
wholesome and stuff like that, yeah, for sure, and I'm a big reality TV fan and,
okay?
like we said, kind of they push all that in all these shows, like, to go out and get wasted and all this stuff, so it's the norm on everything like that, I actually had my cousin come on, I'll be releasing her episode next week, she is a homeschool mom of 6, and she does alternative parenting, kind of outside the norm of what people would think, and that she talks about all that kinda stuff, and going back to something you had talked about, you like going to that birthday party and drinking at a 1-year-old, it is so common and so
Yeah.
accepted. She made a post because her kids are in soccer about the moms bringing their alcohol in their tumblers all day, and
Mhm.
people were calling her out on that and did not like that, and she's like, "You have a problem, obviously." So,
Why do you need to
yeah,
drink if
it's
this
such
kid's
a norm to,
functioning?
like, come home and have that glass of wine that usually turns into a bottle, it's just accepted, so, yeah.
Mom juice, all that stuff, and, like, listen, I don't wanna be a hater, but, like,
Yeah.
dude, you don't need to be drinking in your tumbler and then driving your
No.
kid home.
Yeah,
I'll tell
exactly,
you,
yeah.
all the drinking I did not drink and drive
Yeah.
with the children in the car.
Oh,
My
yeah, for sure.
friends, that's a different story because they were all on
Right.
board with it. They were
Yeah,
like,
everybody
"Sure,
was,
you'll
yeah.
drive. It's fine." And,
Yeah,
like,
encouraging, yeah.
always, they
Oh,
cracking
yeah,
them and giving them to me, like,
yeah,
so but yeah, I don't
yeah.
want to upset too many people.
That's something I've always been big on too is, there's only one time in my life, which I give myself credit for, that I think that I might have been buzzed and thought maybe I shouldn't be driving, but that's something that I was subconsciously always like, I was that person. If we were wasted, I wasn't letting you get in your car and drive.
Yeah, that's good.
My friend, we're not friends anymore. We were friends for 30 years. I kind of helped raise her kids. I was in the delivery room with her and stuff like that too. So that was my first experience as an auntie, besides babysitting my whole life. But I was the sober friend that night, made sure, took her home, tucked her into bed. I get a call 2 hours later. She's in jail. She wanted to go hook up with a guy, so she got in her car and left and picked him up and was, like, a street from her house and got pulled over because she didn't turn her lights on, and she had a full beer in her purse. So she got a DUI and then had to go to DUI school and everything. I was so mad at her though, like, "I took you home and made sure," but, like, when
You
you're in
were
those
all
states
set.
and people enable it, like you said to your friends, I'm sure the guy was like, "You're fine, come get me," so
Yeah.
so
Yep.
yeah.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alcohol is a scary thing, and that's why I wanna have as many sobriety stories on here, and that's why I was so excited you wanted to come on and share yours because it is. People just think it's norm, and it's not. And it's okay if you can enjoy a drink or 2, that's
Yeah.
your choice, same as smoking weed or whatever your vice is. But if you can't control it, then you have a problem, so,
Yeah, and handle it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say to somebody that is scared to take that first step?
Oof, I would say be kind to yourself. Fill your sobriety toolbox. What I had to do was, I mean, I leaned on like Athletic Brewing was my choice because they
Mhm.
are non-alcoholic beers.
Right.
So I had, some of those in the fridge, LaCroix in the fridge. I'm already big on lemon water, but having like
Mhm.
a flavored water is always a good option.
Right.
Tea, I'm a
Mm.
tea,
Yeah.
ferociously drinking tea.
Yeah.
And so, um, be kind with yourself. I do drink Diet Coke now. I never drank
Mhm.
soda before, and now I have at least one a day.
Yeah.
Mm. And I know that's not great, but
It's better than
I
alcohol,
have
and
my
you gotta
Diet
have
Coke,
something, yeah.
you
There's
know?
so many things in this world that'll kill us. You go to McDonald's and eat that.
Yeah. So
So
it's like, I would definitely say, yeah, stock your toolbox, write in your journal, just be cool, like don't freak out, don't overthink it too much because you are normal and you're fine. And while other people might be trying to encourage you and cajole you into just have one.
yeah,
No, think about play the tape. You
yeah,
know that one is going to turn into more and you're going to feel like shit the next day. You're going to be so
yeah.
mad at yourself and then you're going to beat yourself up. And then I'm not gonna say be kind to yourself. You can, but like,
Yeah.
all right,
You
tough
kinda
love.
need a ass whooping then, yeah.
Let's go. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
so those are the top things is make sure that your fridge is full with the right things. It
Yeah.
did take me a long time to dump out my booze, but I think
Yeah.
if I went back and started over, I would have dumped it out immediately because by the time I did dump it all out, that was when I hit my 100 days. And at that point, I was like, I'm going forever.
Right.
I can't be
Yeah.
scared of that. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to give myself moving that goalpost a little further every time.
Mhm.
It's now or never, dude. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
when I dumped those out though, it made me like almost want to puke. Even some like flavors of LaCroix and like all
Yeah. Oh,
the
they taste
brands,
kinda alcoholic
they
sometimes, yeah.
taste it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Grow up."
Yeah. That's awesome that you're at that point though, you know for a fact that you're good and, like, you can just and I'm sure, like, with the work events and your friends' parties and
Ugh,
things like that, I'm sure you're in bars and in that scene a lot, so, like,
tough.
it takes a lot to be around that and know that you don't even care to even bother with that, so
Yeah. Yeah. It takes a lot of like mental preparation, but at the end of the night, I'm always so proud of myself.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
Mm,
I love that. I think that's the biggest thing that keeps us going. Like I said, I've been working on myself, been a little bit more selfish. I've always been the person that takes care of everybody and puts myself last, but I'm trying to change that. And it's okay. And I'm proud of myself for that. And we all need to do that because, like we said, it all goes back to you can only be that person to change your life and make things better. So,
yeah.
well, thank you so much for sharing your journey with me. I think it will be really inspiring for a lot of us. And I really appreciate you being honest and open with us on that.
Thank you for giving me a space to be
Of
open and
course.
honest.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
this almost feels like a good opportunity to finally talk about it on my social media platform because I talk about it, but I don't
Yeah.
talk about it,
Yeah.
because I want people to know, like, if you are doing that, you're not alone. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
I may look
Yeah.
like I've got it all together, but man, I've been through some trauma in my life. I've been through, and I don't use that word lightly.
Mhm.
I've been through some crap, and
Yeah.
everyone has, but it's
Yeah.
just different levels and different varieties and
Absolutely.
stuff. But
Yeah.
we all cope differently. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
I want, everyone to know that it's all right. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. I love that, and that's exactly what I'm doing with this is, like you said, we all have different levels of traumas. We've all been through things. One, like, saying, and I'm not gonna get it fully right, that I always try to say is, like, your hardest moment just because you think it's so hard doesn't mean that person's hardest moment wasn't their hardest moment. Like, I have family members, narcissists, of course, that, well, they don't have it that bad. They don't know how that is. They can't be upset about that. That is their hardest thing that they've been through. You can't say that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to add that. So,
I love that you added that. That is
yeah.
something I mentioned it in Mental Health Monday before where I'm
Mhm.
like, just because they're experiencing it differently than you,
Mhm.
don't be
Yeah.
hating. Don't be a hater,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Mind your business. Focus
Yeah.
on your own path. All right.
Yep.
Look,
Yep.
look. I'll get mean about it. Like, don't
No,
look at
for
them.
real. I do get mean about that too, and I had a EMDR therapist on here, and we talked about that, like, I asked her, like, people think that their traumas aren't big enough or that they haven't been through enough. Everybody has something that they could go to therapy for or work
Yeah.
through. You have no idea, and some things that may be so suppressed you may not even know you went through it. So, like, it's healthy for everybody, and I love that our generations are, like, breaking that stigma. Mental health is becoming so much more okay because even when I was a kid, like, trying to tell my parents, like, "Oh, I think I'm depressed or bipolar." They're like, "Yeah, whatever, you're fine. You're just a kid," you know? So, like, I'm glad that it's more open in the world nowadays. So I appreciate your mental health Mondays. I love those. I was actually in the car last night getting ready to go into an interview and it came on and I was like, "Oh, I gotta listen to Carrie Danger real quick before I go in here." So
Thank you. Oh my
yeah, of
God.
course. Yep. Well, before we wrap things up, I like to do a little lighter segment, just kind of some of like this or that, just to get to know you better. So,
Okay.
coffee or tea? Both.
Coffee. I
Coffee.
say both, but I'll go coffee.
Yeah, awesome. Favorite concert you've ever been to?
Um, okay, Vampire Weekend was freaking sweet.
Yeah,
And but oh god, there's so many concerts. It's hard for me to pick. Third Eye Blind
right.
was sick. Vampire
Oh,
Weekend was
yeah.
awesome. Um, gosh, it's always the hardest question I've ever been asked.
Right.
But
Hey, well,
yes.
it doesn't have to be
Oh,
particularly that works.
duh. Jack White.
Oh,
I've
nice.
seen him 3 times, 4 times? 3
Oh,
times.
nice. Yeah,
It doesn't matter. Point is, I seen him and I could sing
yeah.
every word.
I love it. Jack White is awesome, so
Yeah.
definitely, I love that. Let's see here. Favorite comfort food?
Ooh, I just love some cereal. I love
Cereal?
some
Do you have a
cereal.
specific type or just
Um,
all cereal?
really, I love, like, Honey Bunch of Oats, but I like the
Mhm.
Aldi brand Honey Crunch
Oh,
Oats
okay.
because it's
Yeah.
just more superior.
Yeah. I love that. That sounds really good. I'm one of those people I'm not ashamed to admit I like Raisin Bran. It's good too,
Ooh,
so
yum, yeah,
yeah.
dude. The brand. I like
Yeah. Oh,
fiber,
yeah, for sure. Definitely, especially
add
older,
something
we
to it,
need
some
that.
crunch.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Cats or dogs? As you pick up your kitty. Hi,
kitty cats. I like both a lot. I had a dog named Chip. Look how
yeah,
upset he is.
look at their face. He's so cute. Hi, baby. What is your favorite way to spend a day off?
Ooh. Oh my god, girl, give me some tasks. I love
Nice.
getting chores done. I
Yeah.
love getting up first thing. Let's go get it. Like
Right. Yeah,
that makes me, and then all that hard work pays off at the end of the day when
for
I'm having
sure.
a cup of tea or a
Yeah.
LaCroix
Yeah.
and I'm just chilling with a book.
Yeah.
That
I
is
love
it right
that.
there. I love chores, dude. I
Yeah.
love
I'm the
cooking.
same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I,
Last Saturday, it was just
yeah.
nonstop all day, and I slept so good that night.
I love that. Yeah, I live in an apartment and it was the annual like inspection. So like
Oh,
I'm not a
my
dirty person, but that kicked my butt into like major deep cleaning. So I got that done this weekend and that you
hell
just
yeah.
feel so like I just keep walking around like, oh yeah. It
Yeah.
just makes you feel so good. And that's I worked from home for so long and like going to run errands, like grocery shopping and stuff was my getting out of the house and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I get that. So
That's so funny.
beach vacation or cabin in the woods?
Cabin in the woods.
Nice. Yeah, I love
The
that. I'm
beach
a
is fun.
Pisces, so I
I
like
can't
the water, but I love trees and nature. I'm actually online right now for forest bathing certificate where I can take people out and do
ooh,
little adventures and we do like journaling and stuff in the woods because I connect with nature so well. So
I will come. I will come.
absolutely, I would love that. It'd be a great time. Favorite season?
Mm, I love fall.
Yeah,
I love
fall's my
fall.
favorite too. Absolutely. We have so much in common. I think we could
Yeah,
be
we
best
do,
friends.
dude.
One last thing, and I love asking everybody this question. One word to describe this chapter of your life.
Mm, oh boy. Um, I would like to use the word confusing, uh,
Yeah,
but illuminating.
I love that. That's a good
Yeah.
one. I really like that one. It's a
Yeah.
little bit, shedding some light on things, but also, increasing your light and your beauty. So I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Carrie. This conversation has been amazing. I appreciate you so much for joining me, and I hope that this resonates with our listeners. If this resonated with you, please share it with somebody that needs it. If you need some help, reach out. We're here to help. Love the cat there. So thank you guys for being here, supporting the podcast. And Mel Mel, will see you next time. Bye. Awesome. All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode of Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Thank you for spending this time with me and stepping into the real, the raw, the messy, and the magical, because we don't do surface level here. If this episode hit home, made you laugh, or helped you feel a little less alone, go ahead and follow the podcast and share it with someone who might need it too. And remember, you are never too much, never too little, and never alone on this wild ride. I'll meet you back here next time for more truth, more feels, and more unfiltered goodness. This is Auntie Mel Mel signing off. Stay real, stay kind, and stay unfiltered. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Auntie Mel Mel. If this episode made you laugh, think, or feel a little less alone, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Sharing it really helps this community grow. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and right here on YouTube. I'll see you in the next episode of Life Unfiltered.